Good morning, French 2 students. This is Mrs. Krumschreider going over your syllabus. There are not a lot of changes to the syllabus from French 2A, but I just want to go over a couple things with you. Number one, notice. Again, my email's right here. That's pretty important right now because if you have questions or concerns with the fact that I am currently at home recovering from a surgery, you will need to email me if you have some questions that the substitute teacher can't answer. My conference period is first period. Okay. Requirements here, again, you do have a textbook already. You don't need a lot of paper right now, although I would encourage you to think about taking notes. 3-ring binder, remember that's sort of optional right now if you don't have room in your backpack for it. But you do need to have your Chromebook with you every day in class. So attendance and makeup work, again, some things to keep in mind here. Number one, I am making videos for you every day. And so if for some reason the substitute teacher should be playing those videos during class so that you're all watching them together when you're in class. However, in the event that you're not in class for some reason or you're a virtual learner, right, there are videos provided each and every day for you in Google Classroom. And if you are not here for some reason, I do expect you to watch those videos. Again, if you have been absent, you need to find out what you're missing, including any days that you're absent due to COVID, right? So if for some reason you are quarantined because you yourself or someone in your family is getting tested or has been tested, okay, you need to still do all of your work. So Google Classroom is your resource for where you're going to look for things. And all work is due according to the due dates in Google Classroom for both face-to-face and virtual students, whether you are in school or not. So face-to-face students, you're not here, your work is still due. Okay? In the event you miss a test or quiz, again, you need to make those up. All tests and quizzes are going to be given in Google Classroom using Google Forms. So whether you're here in school or not, you need to take your quizzes and your tests on the day that they are assigned, okay? Communicating with me, again, I expect you to communicate with me during school hours. So I'm at school and working from 7:45 in the morning until 3:15 in the afternoon. As most of you are aware, I'm typically here well before 7:45, okay? But during the winter, hopefully basketball season's going to happen, and I have a son playing basketball and a daughter playing basketball. So after school time, I'm not going to be around, and I may not respond to your emails in the evenings. So it's really important, virtual days that you're not here at school, online students, you should be doing your work during normal school hours. If you're doing your work outside of normal school hours, and then you send me an email with a question, understand I may not respond to it, okay? If your parents have a question, email really is the best way to get a hold of me, okay? Communication. So this is really important when we're virtual. So this applies during periods that for some reason our building is closed or the whole district is closed. This is also true of all of the 100% online students. You are required to communicate with your teachers. Has to be some sort of back and forth. Communicating with your parents does not count. So having your parents send an email that you need to send, you really should send it yourself. And you're supposed to communicate at least twice a week from Wednesday to Wednesday. Now, one good thing about this is if you are doing your work, submitting your assignments and taking assessments does count for attendance, okay? So submitting assignments and taking assessments, when you do that, you should see a 2 for your attendance, okay? So that is important that you're doing your work and you're doing your work on time, okay? Again, face-to-face students, you don't have to worry as much about this when we actually are in class because being present in class fulfills that communication requirement, okay? Assignments. Again, not significant changes, okay, from first trimester. Again, you are going to want to make sure you have a device at home and Wi-Fi access at home so that you can use your Chromebooks and such. My preference is that you type assignments. It's just easier for me to read them when you turn them in. When you are handwriting them out and taking a picture, if your picture isn't very clear, it's really hard for me to read it. So I'd really prefer that if you can type your assignments that you do so. I know there are some of you who are not typing them, and that's fine, just to make sure your pictures then are good and clear. Okay? Worksheet, workbook assignments. Again, my preference with those is that you write those right on your workbook, in your workbook, right? And you just take pictures of them and submit them. If for some reason that's not working, then you can just type up the answers. Again, remember that I have a key posted in Google Classroom. It's down towards the bottom. It's called Homework Answer Keys. Okay? And I expect you to check your homework. I glance at it, and sometimes I might comment to you that it looks like some answers are wrong and you need to check your the keys. But I really do expect you to be checking your keys regularly and checking to see whether you've done your homework correctly. Notice this is one of those changes, right? Assignments are going to be due by 2:30, okay? I was letting you have until 3:15. Assignments, now this is like homework assignments. Tests and quizzes, you'll still have until 11:59, okay? But homework assignments, projects, okay, those sorts of things, I want them done by 2:30. That goes back to that attendance part. It's much easier for me to do the attendance and give you your twos for participating and turning in your assignments if I can do that before I leave for the day. So, normal school day, right? This year is different than it's been in the past. Our normal school day is 8:30 to 2:30 when students are here in school. So I'm just going to ask that by 2:30 your assignments are turned in, okay? If they're not in by 2:30, then they're going to be late and you'll still get half credit for them, but you won't get full credit. Assessments, okay? Again, remember all assessments are open book and open note. Some of you need to take advantage of that, okay? And you will have until 11:59 p.m. on the day an assessment is due to submit the assessment using Google Classroom. So that's not really any different than it's been. These classroom rules and consequences, these are the same ones you've had before. My warrior expectations matrix, there's really no changes here. The only thing I want to remind you about is how important it is that we're wearing our COVID face mask, okay? And it needs to be worn properly, right? That means it needs to be covering your nose and covering your mouth, okay? So please make sure when you're in class you have your mask on. If people are talking to you, they should have their mask on and you should have your mask on. And in class, when we're doing things like saying the vocabulary words at the start of class, when we're doing things like doing exercises, going around the room speaking, it's very, very important that if you're speaking, you make sure that you have your mask up and properly in place. Remember with the 3-ring binder, I kind of told you this earlier this year, but I get it that your backpacks are really full. And it may not be easy for you to have a binder that's just for French class and French class only. I still would really like you to have a binder like that at home where you're putting things, but I'm not going to do binder checks this trimester. And so if you find that it's better and it's better for your back and your body to not have that in your backpack, I do understand. Okay. Do make sure though that you have your workbooks with you every day, right? Especially on days we're going to do workbook assignments. Grading, unfortunately, there's not a way in Google Classroom for me to not accept late work. So I'm going to take late work, but I'm going to give you half credit. And so that means if you turn it in at 2:45 and it was due at 2:30, you're going to get half credit for it. So do make sure that you're paying attention. One of the things that really I found frustrating first trimester is if I assign homework today, I expect you to go home and do that homework assignment tonight and to turn it in tonight. It's technically not due until 2:30 tomorrow, but if homework is assigned today, I expect you to do it today. If you're waiting and doing that homework assignment tomorrow, you are really actually a day behind. And that is not helpful when it comes time to take a test or quiz if you're operating a day behind in the class. So I'm asking you, just let's start out on the right foot from day one this trimester. And if an assignment is assigned today, go home tonight and finish it or get it done in class, okay? And turn it in as soon as you get it done so that you don't forget to do that, right? That's the worst thing in the world, is to know you had that homework done and you just didn't, you forgot to turn it in. You forgot to submit it in Google Classroom. No changes to the grading here or anything of that nature. So again, big changes are that I'm asking you to turn in your homework assignments by 2:30, right? So this right here, that I want to remind you that you need to be checking the keys, okay, that are posted in Google Classroom. That I really prefer your assignments to be typed if possible, okay? Workbook assignments from your workbook, I prefer you handwrite those in your workbook and you take a nice clear picture. I really would encourage you to look at that Adobe Scan app. The students who are using it really like it, and I will tell you as a teacher, it is super easy to read. So it comes through nice and clear. So I'd really encourage you, if you've been taking pictures of multiple pages of your homework, like when we do a workbook page, that you look at that Adobe Scan app. It's free, it'll work on your smartphone, and you can use your smartphone then to turn in those assignments. Again, communication, this was a little bit of struggle for some people, right, this first trimester. So again, I'll try to be real careful about, paying attention to the fact that you turned in assignments and giving you a 2 in attendance. So when you look at your attendance, a 2 is a good thing, a V is a good thing, a W, that's a bad thing, okay? So again, pay attention and communicate with me. So, and again, just kind of final reminder, whether you're present in class or not, I do expect you to turn in all your assignments on time. There are videos for every single thing posted in Google Classroom. I'm spending a lot of time making those. At the end of every video, I go over what I expect you to do for the homework. I usually do one problem of the homework. So if nothing else, then get smart enough to like fast forward the video and go and find out how I said to do the homework assignment. Okay, so be smart about this. So I'm looking forward to another trimester. I'm not quite sure what we're going to do for a project this trimester. I have a bad feeling that food is out of the question. So kind of stay tuned for what we're going to do for a project this trimester. Have a great day. Au revoir. À demain.